Hi. Today I'm going to talk to you about 2026. 2026. It's around the corner, isn't it? Not very far more to go to be in 2026. Today is the 24th of August 2025. So the chart that you have here on your screen is the chart for 0 hour, which is midnight, on the 1st of January 2026, and that has been, of course, worked out according to universal time. It's an interesting chart because the configurations in it are, for some, maybe quite worrying, to the astrologer anyway, and others quite rejoicing. Pretty good, yeah, indeed. So let's start with the good stuff, props. So we have here Pluto. Pluto is in Aquarius since the 20th of November last year, 2024. And it's going to remain in Aquarius until 2042, 43 or something like that. And as you can see, it's in harmony with the moon. We'll have the moon in Gemini to celebrate the new year. And the moon in Gemini is going to have an effect on our need to communicate, to share opinions and ideals, to travel as well, to meet people and make new friends and so on. So the link between Pluto and the moon is interesting because it also indicates a kind of potential regeneration, to regenerate the way we communicate, the way we interact with other people. And of course, the moon represents our emotions as well, so they will be fluctuating as usual, but thanks to Pluto, we will be much more able, I think, to control and to recover from stressful situations that may trigger strong emotions. Now, Uranus is in Taurus, not far from the moon. And that means that on the 31st of December, so just the day before the new year, the moon will be around here and around the position of Uranus. That means that what we decide to change in 2026 may become much more important on the 31st of December 2025. And as you know, the first day of the year is often considered as useful to the good resolutions that you may have for that new year, which is a new cycle beginning on the 1st of January at 0 hour GMT, which is a universal time. But of course, wherever you are on the planet, that time may change. But what will not change are the positions of the planets in that chart. But according to your location, if you establish a chart for midnight on the 1st of January 2026, you will have an ascendant and houses around that chart. And that will be quite handy to compare it with your chart and, get some useful information to deal in a better way with whatever may happen to you and around you during this year, 2026. So then is a link which is also a very nice, interesting, positive link or aspect with Saturn and Neptune. They are both together in Pisces. They were retrograding. At the moment they are retrograding. They're in Aries, but they will retrograde in Pisces, where we will find them early in 2026. But as you can see, Neptune is at 29 degrees and 30 minutes It's only half a degree left for it to change sign and begin its transit in Aries, or resume its transit in Aries. And when it does, actually, it's not going to retrograde in Pisces anymore. It will retrograde occasionally, for sure, but it won't leave this sign Aries for another maybe around 14 years, perhaps a bit less than 14 years. And Saturn is going to do the same very soon after. So both are going to join forces in February. On the 20th of February, there will be an exact conjunction at 1 degree and some minutes and seconds of arc in Aries. And that will be the only one. It's not going to occur again because Neptune takes 165 years to revolve around the zodiac and Saturn 29 and a half. So for them to meet exactly there at the very beginning in a sign like Aries, that's going to take a hell of a long time before it happens again. So it is an important conjunction, and because it is in harmony with Uranus, it's going to make it maybe easier for us to change what we want to change. And what is it that you want to change? Maybe you change your place of residence. Maybe you change job, or you change husband or wife, who knows? But there is a drastic change indicated by the presence of Uranus at the end in Taurus. It's retrograding as well. So retrograding means that the planet may be a bit less active, or it simply means that you and we may need a bit more time to actually accomplish that change that we have in mind, or that life has in store for us. It is going to be fundamentally, because the configurations are quite positive, it should be a positive change as well. So that's something to look forward to in 2026. Besides, Saturn and Neptune are in harmony with Vesta, which is here in Capricorn, 24 degrees in Capricorn. So this is a sextile which is actually very strong with Saturn, less with Neptune, but still Neptune is in its own sign in Pisces, so it is stronger, so we can sort of pull on the orbs and make the aspects a bit wider. Vesta represents harmony, balance, and well-being, and Vesta is, of course, in harmony with Uranus as well. So this triangle here is an interesting one because it indicates that the change that may be in store for us, or that we are preparing for ourselves, is bound to be a source of renewed harmony and well-being. So if you need to restore balance and harmony in your life, I think that this configuration is showing that you will have the potential to do so. And when Vesta changes sign to transit in Aquarius, it's going to meet with Pluto. And that will have a very interesting consequence that I will explain in another video. Because this is only a video that covers globally what we can expect from this chart of the 1st of January 2026. And from then on, I will analyze other charts month per month. So I will, of course, put them online as they are finished, which they are not now because I'm only working on this one, as you see. Another beneficial configuration that I can see in this chart, and I'm pretty sure that many of you have already seen it as well. It's this conjunction here, which is very strong actually. The Sun between Mars and Venus, the goddess of love and the god of war, are sort of getting together around the sun to make the sun much more intense. And the sun is life. So our life is going to be much more intense in 2026. We will most probably be more creative and probably also more combative. And combativity, creativity, love, and all the motivations that come from maybe defending what we love or whom we love is going to make us very strong. And that strength is linked to the lunar nodes that are here, as you can see, on the axis between Virgo and Pisces. So Virgo, which is an earth sign, would rather represent what is real. I mean by that, what is materially real. And reality linked to Virgo is having our feet firmly on the ground. So we know that we belong to this planet and we are human beings and we have earthly needs which are going to be covered, which we strive to cover and to satisfy every year since we were born. It doesn't work out every time the way we would like things to work out, that's for sure. But if we want to, really, in 2026, the fact that the North Lunar Node is here in Pisces indicates that we should be tending to go toward a more perhaps lofty type of objective or goal. You know, the spiritual dimension of life is represented by the North Lunar Node in Pisces. And the earthly matters and interests that we may have and needs and so on are represented by the South Lunar Node in Virgo. But the South Lunar Node represents that from which we should try to get some distance. Because if we can do that, then we are going to feel a lot lighter. And that will help us, reach the goal represented by the North Lunar Node, in a much easier manner. And maybe quicker, but it doesn't have to be quicker. It's just more simple. When you sort of let go of a lot of load that you may be carrying for many years, you feel lighter. And that lightness is not just physical lightness, of course. It's also mental, maybe emotional, sentimental, financial, and so on. So because the planets Saturn and Neptune are also in Pisces, they are contributing to the energy of the North Lunar Node and to what it means. I mean, Neptune represents a dream or an ideal situation that you may wish for or hope for. But Saturn represents your ability to work for it, to make it happen. If you want to realize a dream, these types of configurations are going to really help you. But the moon in Gemini creates a discordance with the North and South Lunar Node. So that means that emotionally, we will have to really assess the reality of our life according to the emotional state in which we would prefer to be rather than some troublesome type of emotional situation. The South Lunar Node once again represents that from which we should try to take some distance. Okay, we can make it. And we can make it because that is shown by this configuration here in harmony with the north and south lunar nodes, as we've just explained. Venus is creativity, it is love. The sun is life, and Mars is how strong we can be to defend ourselves and to defend what we want to achieve in life, to actually do as much as we can to make, well, our love come or become a source of constructive, concrete realization. And that is also linked to the fact that this conjunction is happening, of course, in Capricorn, which is the sign where the sun is on the 1st of January. But there is an inconjunct as well, as you can see. There are 3 inconjuncts, actually, involving the moon with Venus, Mars, and the sun. The inconjunct is an ambiguous type of configuration because it indicates that we, most of the time, know what we should be doing to achieve what we want to achieve, to obtain the best results. But very often, we tend to postpone the decision, the action, or whatever that is to make things happen. We postpone. We're lazy, perhaps. At least we think that perhaps it will be better tomorrow, or that it can wait until tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. So the inconjunct must be taken into consideration because it involves the sun and the moon, and they are the main elements around a chart. And in our life, without the sun, where would we be? And without the moon, the Earth wouldn't be where it is, according to its position around the sun. So those 3, the Earth, the moon, the sun, are really in need of working together as well as possible to avoid any type of conflict that may occur on this planet or around the planet as well. So, if we know what we have to do, if we know what we have to say, we should do it and say it. Communication is represented by Gemini, where the moon is. So it means that if we communicate about what we feel, the emotions are represented by the moon, then we may get more constructive results than if we sort of wait and see. That's what the inconjunct is there for, to show that we may just do that, wait and see. But wait and see, all right, it's everybody's choice. But the risk is that if you wait to see, you may not see anything because nothing's going to happen. Or what is going to happen is not exactly what you're going to expect. You see? So another configuration that I need to talk about as well is the one that involves, once again, the moon, but with the black moon, which is here in Sagittarius. So there is an opposition here between the moon and the black moon. And that means that when the moon reaches actually 1 degree and 15 minutes, and here it's at 6 degrees and 43 minutes, so that would be during the evening of the 31st of December, when actually the moon enters in Gemini, it will immediately or almost immediately creates that opposition with the black moon. So it's going to trigger what the black moon represents, and it represents a dark zone. So there must be something in your life that is not clear. And perhaps you don't want to talk about it. Perhaps you don't want to worry about it. So you leave that behind, locked up somewhere, under the carpet or whatever. You don't want to talk about it, you want to know about it, or you are afraid or ashamed of what this dark zone is. So it is for us all to recognize what it is, and then to decide what to do about it. Because when there is a dark zone, it could become a source of problem. And that problem would be your responsibility, because that dark zone is a dark zone that you know about. And if you don't, and if you feel something around that is not clear, your responsibility will be to shed light on it, to make it clear. Well, that may become possible because the black moon is in harmony with Pluto. It is a sextile. And Pluto, as we've seen earlier on, is in harmony with the moon. So Pluto has the answer. And what does Pluto mean? It represents our ability to regenerate. So Pluto in harmony with the black moon, or the black moon in harmony with Pluto, it is going to have a positive effect on our ability to regenerate. And our cells, our body altogether, regenerate on a regular basis. So what may happen then is that if we decide to shed light on that dark zone, it can be something that we worry about without really expressing that worry openly. And that worry may be just a financial worry, a sentimental worry, a health also worry. Whatever it is, your duty will be to shed light on it, to make sure that you understand what it is clearly, and then deal with it. And then Pluto can help you do that. It can help you destroy the dark zone, get rid of it forever, and then feel free again to act and react the way you should without any ambiguity. So that's interesting. Let's talk about Mercury. Mercury, on that 1st of January, is standing at 28 degrees and 39 minutes in Sagittarius, here. So that's the very end of the sign. And that means that during that 1st of January, Mercury is going to change sign to transit in Capricorn. And there will be a big cluster here, which I will talk about in another video. And it's a very interesting one, very important as well. But Mercury is in discordance with Saturn and Neptune. So it indicates that mentally or intellectually, we may not feel really up to it, at least on that particular day. But if we say something or even write something that is wrong, it may have repercussions and consequences throughout the year. As Mercury travels around the zodiac, it's going to have an influence on all the objects and planets that it will come in contact with or align with. So Neptune represents what we may believe, and Saturn represents what we may not be able to explain clearly. So if there is something that you feel, it's like an intuition, could be an inspiration as well. At the same time, you may not feel fit enough to really tackle that intuition and to actually make it real. But as soon as Mercury changes sign, it's going to change. The energy is going to change. And so we'll talk about that a bit later on in another video, as I said earlier on. Now, Jupiter is also playing a very important role. It's in Cancer, you see, it's here, and it is in the moon sign. It is creating an opposition with Vesta and a square with Chiron, which is also squaring Vesta. So this triangle here, which is a red triangle, indicates that we should look after our health, but not excessively. Anything excessive is often represented by Jupiter when there are conflicting configurations, like discordances, as we call them as well. Vesta represents harmony. So balance and well-being depends on that harmonious relationship between your organs and your functions and anything that's inside you. Well, Chiron represents health. It has to do with the inner doctor as well. So we may be able to a certain point, able to understand what is wrong with us. If there is some sort of, symptoms that appear suddenly because Chiron is in Aries, and Aries is the sign represented by Mars. So it means that we may have a tendency to jump to conclusions and then act or react excessively to restore balance and harmony, to treat something that's some health issue. But health can be health as such, as I repeat all the time, but it can be health in any area of your life, financial, professional, sentimental, whatever. It's for you to decide, because you know your life better than I will ever do. But Chiron also indicates that because it is in Aries, because it is in discordance with Jupiter and with Vesta, it indicates that the manner in which we're going to worry about what is happening will make the difference. So because Jupiter represents a tendency to exaggerate when there is a discordance, as I said earlier on, we'll need to sort of try and be more relaxed about what's happening, so that we can, with a lighter type of approach, cure the issue if there is a health issue or any other type of issue in any area of your life. Exaggerating is, of course, creating more risks of making mistakes. But Jupiter is in harmony with Saturn, as you can see, that trine here, and it's even in harmony with Neptune as well. So Jupiter in harmony with Neptune is going to enhance the potential that we have to feel things without necessarily explaining what it is all about. We feel, it's like, inspiration, intuition. And Saturn is reality. So linking both together means that many people are going to be able to realize their dream in 2026. So, do you belong to this group of people wanting to realize an important dream or an ideal situation? If you do belong to this group, then you will need to really make sure throughout the year, as Jupiter transits through Cancer, which it will do until the 30th of June 2026, then reflect on what I've just said, because the potential to obtain what we can call success, and if you want to succeed in life, Jupiter is always the planet to look for in a chart. And watching and forecasting the movements of this planet around the chart will tell you how strong your actual potential to succeed is. So where is Jupiter in your chart? It's in Cancer for sure, but what sort of configurations does it form with your chart? And in what house is it transiting? All that needs to be taken into consideration to make what we call a forecast. So if you're interested in that and want to know exactly what may occur to you in 2026, according to your situation, to your projects as well. Don't hesitate to visit our website and order a reading from myself or from Lucas, perhaps, and perhaps as well from some other astrologers that will join ABLAS in 2026. I'll let you know anyway on the website. They will be advertised, if I can say that, on our website. I have at the moment very, very talented students studying to become professionals. And if that interests you, visit our website as well and check out the information about the professional course, which will lead you to become a professional astrologer. And believe me, it is a real job, and it is a good money earning job as well. So anyway, this is the end of this reading, the global general reading of this chart. The other charts that I will analyze for you will cover every month of this year 2026. So they will be published as they are, made. Thank you very much for your interest in my work, and don't hesitate. Let me know what you want to do if you're interested in having a reading done, or if you'd like to learn astrology and become a professional astrologer. Remember that ABLAS will help you. Thank you. Bye for now.